Hey guys, this is Alexander Williamson with The Secret History Living Inside of Your Aquarium. So here I have some bottles. I figured this was a great project. While we're all kind of on lockdown or whatever you want to call it, we're stuck at home for the moment. I've gotten a hold of some containers that I thought were cool. This one is a vinegar flask, and it had just balsamic. I'll have to use some rubbing alcohol, or it's Goo Be Gone is the American brand, to get some of the last of the wrapper off. But I went ahead and I put sand that has already been in one of my shrimp tanks, and some of the ADA Amano aquasoil, and I'll just shake that so it becomes level, and then we'll probably do another sand cap in there. But the whole idea is I want to start growing some immersed plants in these containers, not this one, in these containers. Now this one is a picture of the world, and when the water refracts the light you can see it really clear, and it flips around the proper way if you're looking through it. Now see, if we do it this way, it's all odd and mirror image. So it's designed to be looked through. But I thought that the three of these things would go together really well, maybe on a shelf or in the corner of a room on a coffee table or something. But my idea is to do all immersed growth, maybe to fill this one with water to here, and to have maybe 1 to 3 stem plants growing up and a little bit of moss, no critters in here or anything, maybe a root tab for good measure, or a quarter of one. The new Amazonia, which is ADA by Aqua Design Amano. The new stuff, which I just ordered in the mail, it's Amazonia 2. It comes with these little supplement pellets, which is kind of cool. And so these, I believe, have more of the ammonia and nitrites, nitrates, the typical active ingredients that can definitely, I mean, that means that you're going to have to cycle these like an aquarium. And I'm not going to have any filter or pumps or heaters in here, so I'm definitely not putting any fish in here that I would consider warm water tropical fish that need that kind of thing. I might put a killifish or something in here. This holds about 2 gallons. I'm gonna finish scooping out of my bucket of pre-rinsed rocks, and we're gonna fill up, level off, and then we'll put in some more soil here, and it's gonna look just like this one does, basically. So we've got bigger rocks so the water and the roots can kind of settle down below. Now what you're worried about is blue cyanobacteria and things like that. So sometimes when you're using sand that's already been in a tank, that can be an issue, but because it's such a small volume of water and plants and all that jazz, I'm not worried about it. I think we're gonna do like maybe a bacopa, or something that's a nice sturdy plant that can grow up the stem of this bottle and out the top, and then maybe come down and curve or flower so it looks like a little daisy vase or something like that. A lot of these stem plants I'm growing right up in front here they'll all grow immersed, which means roots in the soggy water and the rest above water when they start getting to the top, and they get more colorful at that point too. This Ludwigia is a great choice, Ludwigia Super Reds, and some of these other ones, the Arculata, Ludwigia Arculata is a good one. The Hygrophila pinnatifada Rosevig is a nice one. So there's a whole lot of choices here. And here you can see I've been growing out one of the Ludwigia Super Reds, and it hasn't been in CO2 or high light yet, and so it's putting out roots, and you see those bright pink roots, and I can cut each of those sections and plant those under the soil, and it'll grow. Now some of these things like Rotala, this Rotala here, it will really transform as it comes out of the water. I'll see if we have any immersed growth happening yet here. I think I trimmed most back, but right here we do have some Rotala. So this is Rotala mini butterfly here, and if we take a look at it, you can see it's got this beautiful red color, and the leaves actually start to get pretty sturdy on the pieces that are going to crest the water there. And so there's a group of them that are going to be cresting there, and that's the effect we're going to go for. We may use some of this duckweed or some of this salvinia here. The little cups are the salvinia. This water lettuce is definitely way too big, so we won't bother with any of that. But we'll probably be using some of that just to kind of help cycle the tank, get the pH and everything rounded off where it needs to be. But I'd like to have your opinion, guys, on what you think I should do. I've definitely done fish that are subtropical, so like white cloud minnows. I think this bowl is way too small for their comfort, honestly. But I could put young bettas in here for a small amount of time, you know, two gallons in there. Or we could just do shrimp. Upstairs, we've been doing the project, which is right next to the sink, which gets all sorts of cold drafts and doesn't even have, we don't even do top-offs with dechlorinator anymore. It's just we spray the water straight from the sink in there, and they're totally fine. They've acclimated. So we could do cherry shrimp or malawa, neocaridina, that kind of thing, blue shrimp or whatever in these tanks. Probably wouldn't want to do it in this one either. So these will probably just be, I mean, I could do a snail or something in here, but really this, especially when you see what's left of this, that's for roots, and the volume of water is very paltry, and we wouldn't want to put any livestock through that. But this can be the main tank that has something in it, and you know, depending on if it's the summer months, we could do anything from CPDs, erythromicrons, emerald dwarf rasboras, things like that. You know, that's the erythromicron. And they actually do pretty well as long as you're keeping things over 70 degrees. The other thing we could choose to do is put some little guppies in there, some just little baby, or endlers, I should say, while they grow out, and then just fish them out, you know, a month or two afterwards. Now, the problem with that is anything growing is going to produce some waste. And you could also put bettas, an adult betta in here, and it would survive. It would be fine. But I know a lot of people's feelings on that. And while I have bettas in big tanks, 40 gallons with other fish, and bettas in 20 gallons that are the biggest fish in there, you know, that kind of thing, I've tried a lot of combinations. And I can honestly tell you that some bettas, it just depends on their personality. Some are totally fine with being in a gallon and a half or whatever it ends up being of water. They really don't do much, especially the older they get. So it's a possibility, but comment below what your opinion on that is. And also, you know, I'm trying to think of a way to tie all this in together. I was able to order all the soil and then rocks. I got these from Home Depot curbside pickup, as well as the buckets. And then I've just used a turkey baster to grab sand out of the other tank we have over here. And you know, we have quite a few different things we can work with. I mean, these are growing. There's no substrate other than sand in here, and we've got Cryptolatia, and then we've got pink flamingo crypt growing in there. This here is the same sort of soil. You like my fingernails? My wife and I got bored while on lockdown. Now, rice fish. That's another great choice. We could do rice fish in the tank, and they would hold up just fine. They don't need a ton of space, and they actually have been known to be in like little water barrels and drainage ditches and things like that. They end up in water like that very frequently. Now, the other fish that ends up that way frequently is the batis. And especially if you don't have a whole colony, you just have one, and you're feeding him live food as kind of a centerpiece in a living room or something like that, these batis are really beautiful. And I like these red and black tiger batis because they both, doesn't matter if there's an alpha male, you still get fairly nice color from both. Whereas my blue batis and then also my my scarlet or crimson batis that are in here, they don't really color up that much when there's other males present. There's one that's the male, and that's that. And right now, we lost our male, and so we're waiting for one of them to transform, which will happen soon. So we won't want to take away that one, but we could easily put some small nano fish in that tank like that once it's all cycled. Moss balls and even just little things like scuds and the shrimp, that could be plenty. So comment if you think that's, that's plenty of stuff. Don't worry about putting other critters in there. Obviously, you don't want to put anything like a tetra or a cory or anything like that in there, but well, I suppose you could put a ruby, maybe 3 ruby tetras or 3 sundanios in there. And you just want to watch their behavior and their health and make sure they're okay. I do have all these baby erythromicron, aka emerald dwarf rasboras, swimming around in here. There's 23 of them. But my plan was to take them outside. They can withstand the colder temperatures quite a bit. And these rice fish, they take a little while to grow too. So I've got 2 different species of rice fish that we could use. And also, we could do just like 1 or 2 male endlers. We could do some tin winnies. Tin winnies do like more space though, and I think I would feel bad in the end putting them in a claustrophobic little space. But as you can see, these bettas here, these are all growing out, and they could easily go into that larger bowl, especially for now. I mean, look at how beautiful some of these are. I could keep a closer eye on them, and they're getting to the point where some of them are getting bigger than others, enough so that they're actually a danger. What's kind of cool though is you can see that the peacock gudgeons are now fattening up big enough to spawn. So this male here and the female over there, hopefully they'll go use their cave sometime soon. But yeah, as I was saying, you can see some of these little bettas are much smaller than the others. There's even smaller yet hiding in the plants and in the algae where there's little bugs and copepods and seed shrimps and things like that. As well as there's some bigger ones floating around, kind of lurking like jaws. There's one back there. Another one right here. So I think we're going to stick with the gravel underneath and then kind of mix that halfway like this with the ADA. And this is the, as I said, the Aqua Design Amano, their live soil, as it's called, or their aquasoil. Now, the new way they categorize things is that they don't actually consider it living soil, because I know I said live soil because that's the old term, but they don't actually consider it living soil anymore because now they took the ammonia out and the live chemicals, nitrates and nitrites, and they just have more so the minerals and potassium and things like that in there. Also, we have an interloper. This guy literally must have come down from this coal tank up here, or as a baby somehow evaded capture. So we're gonna chase him to the ends of the earth if we have to get him out of this blue dream tank, which is blue dream coals. So I mean, it's kind of like I'm chasing a coal of a coal. It's Inception. It's coal Inception. But I just wanted to kind of show you guys. I'll chase this guy when I'm not on camera if I don't catch him in a second here. Oh, we got him. We got him. I love these turkey basters. They're great. So now I think we have about 10 red that are mediocre reds in here. And surprisingly, they're getting along with the baddest. But whenever I see a pregnant one, I pull it out. So this also, that's another idea that just came to me. We're going to wrap up the video here where you guys tell me what kind of plants you want. Do you want to see crypts? Do you want to see stem plants that I'm constantly trimming and we'll do a bonsai thing? Do you want to see moss? And honestly, algae. We can even work with algae. We can use marimo moss balls. We can use other types of algae, and we can put that onto rocks and hardscape. We can do all sorts of crypts. Like I said, they're very hardy for that. Anubias are another great choice. And this tank's kind of it's been melting a lot. It's been having some issues. But I mean, we could use all sorts of plants like these, like Here we go. We've got a hygrophila white variegated, and then we've got stargrass. We've got the pogostemon erectus, and then another super red Ludwigia mini, and then a Ludwigia glandulosa back there that has red underneath. And none of these are in high tech. They're all in low tech without much fertilizer or anything, and so they're not showing off any sort of amazing properties. But you can definitely get some cool effects just by weathering and aging. We can definitely borrow stones and little things out of the ecosystem of some of these other tanks. You know, we can take one of these stones that's totally impregnated with bacteria or Sawassertang roots, and some of this means they've had very low nutrients, very low light, slow growth, when these rotala are so tightly pressed together between the nodes on the stems. But we could easily, and I think this might be the answer, we could easily take one of the pregnant female shrimp and toss her in the bowl, and then allow the babies to grow out in the bowl until they're at 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch, and then pull them out with the turkey baster as the time comes for them to rejoin their colony. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, there's all sorts of other fish that we could do. But I want to do nothing too cruel. And some people will argue any fish in 1.5 gallons of water is cruel. But my opinion is that you can definitely, especially with younger fish, you can put them in there for a little while and do water changes and be just fine. I've seen it done many times with aquascapes in a Japanese style house and things like that. So, all right, guys. Well, don't forget to like and subscribe to see what happens next. Click the little bell icon if you are invested and curious. You know, if you want to see, maybe we'll put my freaky shrimp, like just the ones that have unique patterns. I've got some that have Riley patterns. We've got some that are the Little Red Riding Hood shrimp. We could just do a husband and wife combo sort of thing and see what we get in a controlled experiment. But you guys let me know what you think I should do, and I'll start trimming some of the plants and things like that, and we'll get to deciding some of the details we'll talk you through later, which is going to be, you know, we still need a cleanup crew, whether that's shrimp or snails or little copepods, scuds, things like that are going to eat any sort of leaf material that breaks down. And I think it's going to be a fun project. I think it'll look nice, a little accent for the house. And this is really going to be about the immersed plants. So if you can think of any plants, you can Google the Latin name of your favorite aquarium plant and look it up as like potted or immersed growth or land, you know, or whatever, terrestrial growth. And you can find out what it looks like, because a lot of times they're completely different color, leaf shape, and structure, and that's the fun. They flower, they do cool things. These Rotala cabambas that look like little pine trees, kind of with the pink on them. They have beautiful yellow and purple buds on their flowers. So another great choice that we could use in the tank. More Rotala that's under low light. We've got a Thai lily. All sorts of choices that we have to pick from between all my tanks upstairs and here. And so I want to hear from you guys. I hope you guys are doing well. Please like and subscribe, as I said. But first and foremost, take care of yourself. Let me know what projects you're working on. Take care of the people around you, and that's why you're taking care of yourself, so you can take care of all the other things that need to be done, and people and pets that need your care in this time. And I think a lot of times when we focus on the wildlife, nature, and the people who are in need, we get through these stressful times a lot happier ourselves. So I will talk to you later, and I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, evening, and in case I don't see you, good night. All right, bye, neighbors.